A compendium of the Bible, a study of the book of Hosea. The title is derived from the main character and author of the book. The meaning of his name, salvation, is the same as that of Joshua, found in Numbers chapter 13, verse 8 through 6, verse 16, and Jesus, found in Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. Hosea is the first of the 12 minor prophets. Minor refers to the brevity of the prophecies as compared to the length of the works of Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. The book of Hosea is the sole source of information about the author. Little is known about him, and even less about his father Beriel. Chapter 1, verse 1. Hosea was probably a native of the northern kingdom of Israel, since he shows familiarity with the history, circumstances, and typography of the north. Chapter 4, verse 15, chapter 5, verse 1 through 13. This would make him and Jonah the only writers and prophets from the north, although he addresses both Israel, the northern kingdom, and Judah, the southern kingdom. He identified the king of Israel as our king. Chapter 7, verse 5. Hosea had a lengthy period of ministry, prophesying from 755 to 710 BC. During the reign of Hosea, from 790 to 739 BC, Joram, 750 to 731 BC, Ahaz, 735 to 715 BC, and Hezekiah, from 715 to 686 BC in Judah. And he had a long career spanning the last 6 kings of Israel, from Zechariah 753 to 752 BC to Hosea 732 to 722 BC, and overthrow of Zechariah, the last of the days of the dynasty of Jehu, in 752 BC, is predicted as yet future, found in chapter 1, verse 4. Thus, he follows Amos, preaching in the north, and was a contemporary of Isaiah and Michael as well, both of whom prophesied in Judah. 2 Kings, from verse 20 of chapter 14, and 2 Chronicles from chapter 26 to chapter 32 records the historical period of Hosea's ministry. Hosea began his ministry to Israel, also called Ephraim, after his largest tribe. During the final days of Jehoram II, under whose guidance Israel was enjoying both political peace and material prosperity, as well as moral corruption and spiritual bankruptcy. Upon Jehoram II's death in 753 BC, however, Anarchy prevailed, and Israel declined rapidly until her overthrown by the Assyrians 20 years later. In chapter 4 of Israel's 6 kings, and they were assassinated by their successors. Prophesying during the days surrounding the fall of Samaria, Hosea focused on Israel's moral waywardness, the book of Amos, and her breach of the covenant relationship with the Lord, announcing that judgment was imminent. The theme of Hosea is God's loyal love for his covenant people, Israel, in spite of their idolatry. Thus, Hosea has been called the St. John, the apostle of love of the Old Testament. The Lord's true love for his people is unending and will tolerate no rival. Hosea's message contains much condemnation, both national and individual, but at the same time, he portrays the love of God toward his people with passionate emotion. Hosea was instructed by God to marry a certain woman and experience with her a domestic life which was dramatized with sin and unfaithfulness of Israel. The marital life of Hosea and his wife Gomer provides the rich metaphor which clarified the theme of the book: sin, judgment, and forgiving love. This concludes the study, the overview, the compendium of the book of Hosea.